Well then, we're just getting back from break. Okay, I did bring a soda with me. I'm good to go as well. So if the others are munching or snacking or whatever, I have a little bit of narration to do. So where we left off, the coterie members were dropped off. This is a very unnatural state, especially for more austere and older vampires. To be forced to act and move so quickly can seem very jarring. Maybe it's annoying, but if it's only just annoying, then as a vampire, you probably don't understand the actual seriousness or emergency that's happening. If things are being arranged to be pulled, if other resources are being pulled so drastically and quickly that there is. It's as if the planets are aligning and this is the time to go get Clyde. So, um, you have been contacted by Angel, who will pick you up in your resting places. And after such a time that you would have been able to get a decent meal. Mr. Pitch, I presume since you've been in Cleveland, you've kept a little black book of people you can visit or talk to, discuss important matters, solve problems, and, you do it over dinner. And so, going into this mechanically, you all will just be at one hunger as per normal. And just as before, Angel will come by to each of your locations and pick you up in a very generic looking white van. Uh, it doesn't necessarily stand out. It doesn't really also not stand out. This is something that just exists until it doesn't. Um, Quite a wonder of technology it is. Now, Mr. Pitch, in particular, you weren't told that you can't bring your personal assistant. So I will ask you if you would like to. If you would interpret not being told you can't as a, well, you may or you should.
No, Miss Lane would certainly have to. I would end up making sure that Miss Lane ends up while staying in Cole, um, keeps close to a kid at this point. These are one of
All right.
those moments where things get dangerous for me, and given the fact that she ends up working for me not only during the nights but oftentimes during the day, time with family is so important. And well, I like to end up making sure that she ends up here looking after the little Tyke. Did invest a lot of money in him to end up making sure that he ended up coming of age. Hate to end up seeing that spoiled because I ended up dragging her out to the OK Corral.
Angel will talk to you on pickup and ask if you would feel comfortable if she has a way to contact him in case there is the need to pass along something. So, like, do you want her to be able to contact Angel, or Angel to contact her?
Yeah, it'll be my official number, the one that she's usually the one here being on the receiving end that I end up using primarily for masquerade purposes.
Okay. All right. Um. So, Rose is picked up without her sire, and Ivy, you are picked up next. Um, you are welcome to. It's the next night. Are any of you bringing anything in particular, or are you just getting? I don't know. It's business casual, and you're getting in the van. Do you want to take something with you?
I would probably want like one of those like retractable batons, just in
Okay.
case.
Okay.
And a bundle of the really heavy duty zip ties.
Okay.
Ivy's got a small, older computer with her. She primarily uses for hacking when need be, and a handgun.
Okay.
Mr. Pitch ends up bringing his delightful self with little more than a particular wallet here, specifically flush with a bit of cash. They end up keeping him on him for appropriate circumstances, and a burner phone in case he needs to end up contacting somebody but can't be found out exactly where that contact's coming from. A useful little tidbit. Um, I end up deciding that rather than end up going all out with the Benz, I decided to end up keeping it a little bit more subdued. So we'll just stick with the Mercedes for now.
All right. Well, each of you bring. You were told not to bring anything in particular, or to bring anything in particular. Your loadouts sound appropriate for who you are, and you meet Angel, or rather, he comes to get you at the appropriate time and place, having given you. It's somewhat rushed, but not enough that you would be exacerbating things by needing to tear someone open and drink before this. So you hop in the van, and as you do, you see that that he is dressed. He's dressed like a worker. He has overalls and such of a salt mine worker, and on the side of the van, a magnetic sign that states as much goes on the side. You all are picked up. You drive through Cleveland. And for as much as there's urgency, I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of vampires out, possibly panicking. All the humans, they're doing what they do. They're going out, having drinks, they're laughing and socializing. They're doing what they would on a springtime night. There's a lot of advertisements for the eclipse that's going on, and it's as if they're not bothered by anything. But there's a lot of bother going on here. Now, as you drive through, closer and closer to the lake. By the way, Rose, since you didn't get this, Angel will be happy to fill you in on how cool it is that it works normally. However, where you're going, there had to be some repairs made. You're going to be taking a different kind of door. But anyway, you get to the loading docks. There's a ship out there. You see that that salt is being loaded and unloaded, and there's different cars and movers and canisters and things. Angel hands each of you a disguise, quote unquote, to fit in. And now, Ivy, unlike where you had parked before, this is an area that is cordoned off. It's under construction, authorized personnel only, dangerous. Lots of warning signs that like there was a mine collapse and such. Though Angel was able to get past the security guard no problem, and he drops you off in this area, which is it's close to where you had been before. But it's clear that some things had to switch up after last summer. So, donning your disguises and following Angel through the salt mine facility, you start making your way down. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, the whole drive there, I would be peppering him with questions, trying to figure out what he knows, like, where are we going?
Mm-hmm.
What do we need to be aware of once we're there? Do we know how many Inquisitors are on scene? Do we know what sort of weapons they have? Do we have an extraction plan for once we have Clyde? Like, she is just peppering him with everything, trying to get as much info as she can.
Lady, those are awesome questions, and I am not the one to ask. I'm the one who's going to take you to the person you can.
Okay, as soon as he says that.
So keep that in mind. No, hey, look. I drive places, I talk, I also know things. It's just the things that you're looking for, I don't know.
She'll ask him one more question. What's your read on this? What do you think?
Oh.
based on the things you do know.
Well, he has his like worker overalls on, and he's like, well, someone's asking the help for an opinion. That's kind of a rare thing. Happens around here. Well, quite frankly, I think that some serious shit is happening, and that you are only going to be the tip of the iceberg. Call it a gut instinct, and, well, I've been around enough. I know enough, at least to be dangerous, that, whatever you're doing probably ain't half of whatever's actually going on. I've had to run some other errands, and, they don't concern you, so I won't bring them up. But there is a big mobilization that's happening right now. At least you're not alone? Hey, does that make you feel better?
Any chance we might be caught in some crossfire?
Of course. Why wouldn't you be?
All right. I appreciate it, Angel. You're
But
good
that's
people.
also an average night. If you ain't, then you're doing something wrong.
I've had a handful of nights that were on the quieter end.
There's a certain point where, you get shot at so many different times that it's not that it doesn't hurt if you get shot, or it's not that you don't say some choice words when it happens, but you also just come to either expect it or you know how to predict it or avoid it.
I'll
I
let you
feel
know
like-
a little secret, Angel. Probably not so much a secret. You probably know this already. I'm still new. I'm still learning, which is why I have so many questions.
Well, ladies shouldn't talk about their age. Clearly you're under 300 years old. Well, live and learn.
Well, live. But yes, I agree.
Yeah, the broad sense, metaphorical. Anyway, he hands you all, like, vests and helmets. No need to do anything special. Just follow me. If someone's got to talk, you let me talk. So, you're taken down into the facility. Rose or Mr. Pitch, I don't suppose either of you have a particular allergy to salt?
Nothing in particular.
Okay. Good, because there's only ever going to be more from here on out. For those of you who are watching, vampires, like humans, can be allergic to a myriad of things. They don't have to be, and they can, but it doesn't hurt to check. Now, Ivy, the tunnels... The further down you go from this other entrance, there starts to be a humming. Almost like a growling that in some parts comes and goes, and you walk past, and all of you will get it. But Ivy, you've been here before, but you don't remember, because you actually remember that it felt quieter. Like, sound was very muffled down here the last time you were here. Also, you didn't have that connection, right? You felt, actually, things kind of spiritually or inside your mind mentally felt quiet too. Here, it's still, given how loud these pumps are, and as you walk past, there's big pumps that are pumping out water that apparently is leaking in. So the physical muffling is still there, but you are still attuned to this presence, this voice. It's not as strong as it was before you started your descent, but there's just something about this place that, on a deeper level to you, feels damaged or diminished in some way. So the voice, the thoughts in your head have gone from being completely shut off to now you have scrambled pay-per-view adult channel. You can kind of see what's happening if you squint and look hard enough. It's still coming through, but it ain't the full thing. All right. So, so there's pumps that have, like, there's water that's leaking down through here. It used to be very dry, Ivy. And you get to a place that is you took other tunnels. You get to a place that seems familiar, and it is in part flooded. It would be like you're descending down. So it would be dry here. And then you need to go below the water to get to the wall that you remember. There are pumps working. There's just maybe not enough. Angel looks at you all and says, "I believe it's here that we part company. Simply, well, go down there, and the doormen will greet you."
Ivy glances at the water and just kind of shoots Angel a look like, how dare. She has bad memories of this place.
Mr. Pitch and Rose, you ready to get wet?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
that was an unforeseen circumstance. Anybody happen to have a plastic bag on them?
Do you need me to
Rose.
hold something for you? Asks Angel.
Yeah. With that, he pulls out that little burner for me and bring it.
Yep.
Ivy's gonna hand over her bag. Like, I wasn't expecting to have to go under the water of this place, but okay, here.
Yep.
Well, Angela, appreciate it if that comes back to me in one piece. And when he ends up near doing so, there is also there's also a bill underneath it.
Mr. Pitch, I do believe that if it's not returned to you in one piece, it's because I've probably been sundered in several myself.
Consider it an incentive then.
Much obliged. I'll be here for whenever this ends, I guess.
I'm always on the lookout for good people.
And you all go for a walk. The waters are cold, very saline. And as you continue down the tunnel, you do see that there is light. You can kind of see it from before you go down into it, but maybe this brackish or this salt water has obscured it. There's no creatures, no fish. The sounds, the physical sounds, are slightly distorted, somewhat muffled, and also get that liquid sound. But as you go down and you get closer to this source of light, there are two doormen who are there to greet you, effectively. And Ivy, you have to do a double take. Is that Damocles? But it can't be.
You are at the bottom of the lake.
Does
And-
Ivy say that out loud?
Yes.
Are you using the last of the air in your lungs to say that as you're underwater?
Yeah. She don't need air.
I was
You
just gonna
don't.
say, like, Rose would look at you weird, like, no, we don't need air, right? Like, if he was just submerged, he would be fine.
She's just gonna kind of make a motion of say he got crushed by something as he went down.
Rose and Mr. Pitch, in this, you look at the doormen, and they are very clearly Nosferatu. They're identical Nosferatu. Like, down to the wrinkle in the face, the weird... The point to the ears. Ivy, you remember during the motorcycle chase when you were in the back of the van that there was another, like, you discovered that was, you thought that was Damocles, and it wasn't. But it looked like Damocles. These two doormen, quote-unquote, who, as you approach, they say nothing, but they both turn, and they both lift up a giant salt block. And there's a bit of like a whoosh as water begins to pour in, carrying you forward. You're welcome to fight it, but there's enough water that you're going to get whooshed into the tunnel. As the three of you go past these identical Nosferatu. And the door closes behind you. And you all swirl as the water is dissipated out in a hallway. And there are the sounds of pumps that are running. Mr. Pitch and Rose, this is your first time here. Ivy, what's different for you? What's different for you is that in this hallway, all the faces, all the poses of these statues are melted. Very smooth features, distorted, sagging looks to them. Bodies that have been twisted, but in a very smooth, liquid fashion. And you hear the constant of pumps. Rose and Mr. Pitch, this is probably, as a first impression, more grotesque for you than maybe creepy. That would have been the first impression when it was what it was. But Ivy, because you might actually know the difference, go ahead and make another perception. Not perception, wits awareness. Or if you want to make an investigation, we can do intelligence investigation. I'll take either. What do you feel good for?
If I do investigation, could I toss in my
Toss in your what? The voice cut out.
specialty for forensics?
Yes, you actually may.
Then I will do investigation, because that gives me another die. Not too bad.
All right. This place certainly was damaged. A lot of this is probably because of the water and the effect on the salt and other things. And in particular, Ivy, as you are leaning in close, and I'll do this to your all's camera too. As you're looking this over. There's a moment where you get a bah! As one of the supposed statues just sort of jumps forward. Now,
She is moving back and quickly.
Rose and Mr. Pitch are welcome to react in this very sudden moment.
So we see this as well. It's
Yeah, you hear the bah, and you see that one of the statues like lurches forward.
I would probably rush forward and because I heard Ivy when she said like her skills lean more towards like the technical and the smart stuff, I would grab Ivy and like shove her out of the way at the same time I'm like busting out the retractable baton. And I just stand
Yeah.
there. I don't attack, but I'm ready to act if need be.
And just to be clear here, Maddie, this portion is still submerged, correct?
No, the door closed behind you, the water washed through, and it's been pumped
Okay.
out.
All right, I just want to be clear on the situation in that regard. Okay.
Ah, lady, nice choice. A retractable baton, huh? I've been putting in some work with those in my days. Well, nights. Ivy, the melted face of Wade stands in front of you.
God fucking. She's gonna punch him.
That's
She's just. The second she realizes it's him, she's.
Yeah, so, I've been a bit busy. Sorry I've been out of touch, Ivy. Now, I guess I'll get to know the two of you here. But, me and some of the others, well, as you can see, there's been a lot of work to do, and, there's been some, voluntary obligations that, have been foisted upon people such as me in order to help get this place back operating again. Anyway, now that you're here, I can continue to take you in to go see Sheriff Kozan. Sorry for the scare. I couldn't help it.
You're a dick. This is well known.
I am, and that's exactly why I'm hired to do what I gotta do.
I would smile once I realize it's all kosher. Push the baton back together, secret it on my person, and just wink at him.
Wade Cronin, he introduces himself to you, Mr. Pitch, and to you, Rose. At your service. Now that the pleasantries are out of the way, follow me. Oh, by the way, he is for sure a Nos, though he does not look like the twin Nos that were at the door. I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
Just simply saying howdy. Meanwhile, trying not to rise to the occasion that Mr. Wade has most certainly put us in.
Yeah, well, anyway, follow me. You can tell this place, well, Ivy, it ain't what it used to be, and for you other two, you're just gonna have to trust me. Though, I'll tell you, getting to work down here has been, fascinating itself. Amazing what, you can do with a little bit of time and the talent you've been given. Says a little bit of venom in his voice.
To what ends, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, there's a lot of other things that I'd like to do besides dig, soak myself night after night, working in the water, through the sludge and the salt and the muck. But there are things you have to do if you want to persist in the face of, I'd call it heroism. But I'm not the one who gets to make that decision.
Of course, sir. Well, then let us end up and not keep the sheriff waiting. Be a pity to end up doing so.
You all are taken through a giant iron door that looks like a boiler, a big boiler door for a locomotive. And thereupon a large throne with another boilerplate behind it sits a man wearing red and black. This chamber is, it looks like there were great statues in here at one time, but they're melted, distorted. This place looks damp, you still hear that of pumps that are running. Let's get you all here. And you can see, Mr. Pitch, that in the middle as well is a large metal plate that has manacles. Whoops, that has manacles and all sorts of interesting other decor. Very the stylistic choices are interesting, but if it helps, there's very little doubt that this is a man of the Camarilla. But this place is, Ivy, this is wet and sad. This is definitely not, for the horror that might have been here before, especially your first time down here. Everything is, there's dampness. Everything is smoothed out, is melted. It has its own kind of grotesqueness. But, anyway, there's a man with a red veil over his face as he sits in kind of judge attire. Well, this is this is where I will wait for you on the other side of the door. Ivy, it was good seeing you again. You too? Same. Hopefully we'll get to meet again. And he makes his way out and closes the door. Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Given what she's been through before, Ivy is insane studying sheriff, per se. Make sure it's actually him.
Okay. The first time around, there was nothing necessarily that gave it away. So what he, and you also saw him in a very compromised state. He's not compromised. He looks like how you last saw him, even though it wasn't him. So unless you have some maybe supernatural sense or something, you don't really have...
Sense the unseen is whenever there's something natural hiding in light, I can see through it, essentially. Depending on the dice roll.
Okay. Go ahead and roll whatever's necessary for that discipline. Does it tell you? Does it filter through something?
Since the unseen, since the unseen is typically a wits versus or wits plus auspex versus wits plus obfuscate, or wits plus whatever power may be used.
Okay. I guess what you want to do it through your auspex or something?
Yeah, I'm doing it through auspex because that's what it is.
Oh yeah, all right. For any of you out there, if you're new to VTM and you're coming from D&D, there's a lot of different disciplines. You don't ever have to memorize them all. Just like I've never memorized all the spells in D&D, so it's okay. Ask your player with a specific power what needs to happen.
I am going to re-roll 2 dice.
Okay. Hey.
3.
All right. Wow.
Given her prior experience down here with the fake one, she is not trusted.
Okay. There's nothing particularly glowy. There's nothing particularly, I don't know, extra. this appears to be what you're getting. Is a man in kind of velvety black and red robes, has a red veil over his face, who's sitting above you in kind of a melty looking throne.
The other two will just kind of see her sigh a little bit, a forced sigh of relief.
The Right and Honorable Sheriff Kozad, if I may be so presumptuous.
Yes, Mr. Pitch.
An honor to make your acquaintance. He offers a small, lowering bow.
Thank you, and I'm glad that you're here for circumstances other than my official business.
The Camarilla did call, and thus I have arrived.
And it has a great need for you and these others. Now, I had word come to me that the Second Inquisition of some sort has made its way into Cleveland. And in particular has your friend Clyde. But now you could be like, friend's a very presumptive word, Ivy. You know, you're allowed to react like that if you want. But more to the point, he is not just a friend, but he is compromising all of us the longer that he is in their possession. I need you to act on the intelligence that was brought to me and free him from where he's kept. We have to act quickly, you understand. There are other forces at play that are providing this opportunity. Ivy, I need you because you know him. He is not going to be in a state, I believe, of immediate coherence, and so perhaps a familiar face would help. Mr. Pitch, you have done us a great service since last summer, and as such, our gratefulness extends towards our confidence in your ability to manage this operation. Rose, in discussing this with your sire as much as I could communicate with him, it was agreed that you are an appropriate agent for this rescue mission. Would that we could send more, but the more that are sent, the more dangerous this will be. As with most any operation that any of us undertake, including existing every night we do. This will not be easy, but you are providing the Camarilla a great service. And you will be rewarded as such for it. By not just recovering Clyde. For all I know, Clyde may be no more. But in recovering the data that this group has on him, or at the very least destroying it, those are the greater priority. To prepare you for this, I am going to send you out in a disguise of sorts. You are to be dropped off as bodies at a facility that we have been able to determine is an intake for these people. Once you have been processed, you will need to continue on the inside, searching for the man that has been captured. I wish I had more to tell you. Beyond the specifics that I know of a location, which are things that you do not need to know. It is probably better that you don't. The less you know in this case, the less you might be compromised, should the worst happen to you and you are captured. I will answer questions that I can. Otherwise, I am going to personally prepare you for your journey.
Mr. Pitch kind of ends up taking a quick look to his side and kind of shoots a small smirk towards Rose. Now's your time, darling.
I find myself in a position where, like, okay, I'm in front of someone who is obviously an elder, and having repeatedly been warned to know your place around your elders and what could happen if you fail. She keeps it toned down. But I do ask him, like, do we know approximately how many Inquisition members we might be dealing with?
No. No more than what would manifest in front of you in this facility, I presume, at any given time. Ultimately, I wish I knew more about their numbers. But there are other issues regarding them and their own agents that concern me and not you. At least not where you're going.
What is our exit plan? Is there anything set up for an extraction for us?
Yes. Angel will be the one to deliver you to the drop-off point as well. He will be the one to fetch you when you have accomplished what He will say I've and stop. What we are asking of you. He stands up and he starts walking down the steps from the throne.
So, go in and see a bunch of corpses, undergo processing, hope to get shipped out to about where Clive is, perform the extraction, get him out, preferably still able to end up speaking, and in which case the angel will be nearby in order to end up getting us out of the location for you to end up interrogating him to know exactly what he let on and see if he's been otherwise compromising to the position of the Camarilla. Do I understand the parameters of the assignment?
Correct, Mr. Pitch. Recover Clyde, or at least his data. Destroy it if you must.
And if Clyde is not in a position to be removed, are we to shuffle him off his immortal core?
Offer him a sweet and swift release. End his suffering.
Very well. You said that they end up pulling in bodies for processing. What kind of processing can we expect, and how could we end up best leveraging that to end up getting on the inside to find this Mr. Clive?
To answer your question, Mr. Pitch, a demonstration.
In half a blink of an eye, from the base of his throne, the sheriff manifests in front of Rose and just with a thumb pushes a stake into her heart, catches her, and lays her out. You are to be a corpse. Now, the two of you know that Rose is not dead, but she ain't moving, even if she wanted to, in reflex. Well, there is technically a way you can get a little wiggle, but... Ivy and Mr. Pitch, how are you standing there? Are you still standing there as the sheriff gently lays down a very paralyzed, immobilized Rose?
Yep. I was hoping it wouldn't
Yep.
come to this, but this is not the worst thing I've ended up running into. He kind of leans over, looking at a still lifeless body. Don't worry, go. That's for a second. What's really going to be a kicker is the second that thing's pulled out. So, Honorable Sheriff, we end up having, we'll be staked. I'm presuming then, once Angel gets us inside, he'll be the one to remove them.
Yes.
Very well then.
Swift and merciful. In another unnaturally fast blink, Ivy, one finger pushes a stake easily through your ribs.
Mr. Pitch.
Mr. Pitch undoes the front buttons as he does not want to end up ruining this perfectly good disguise.
Yep.
Oh. Very well, Sheriff. He sits down and just lays down because this is gonna suck.
Your loyalty is noted and will be rewarded.
It only you feel just a pinch for a second. Now, for the three of you, this is a very weird time. And I'm not going to go through the minutia of it, but there's a little blinking in and out. There certainly is time that is passing and moments and kind of a consciousness of I can pick up things, you might feel yourselves be carried out. Ivy, as you're in this paralyzed state, kind of a fade in, fade out, it seems like Wade is carrying you. Mr. Pitch and Rose, these twin Nos, are carrying you out. There's water, Angel, Mr. Pitch. You think at some point in time, Angel was looking over at you, smiling as he set the phone on your chest and gave it a pat. There's like again, weird in and out. Things happen and they don't, as you're in this flux. And there even feels to be moments of torpor. Like things go black and not just you can't move, but you're sensing everything. And you still can't move, but there is this growing hunger. You hear the creaking doors of a van. You feel kind of thudded in the back. This would be after you've been zippered up and everything goes dark, as you've been put into body bags at some point in time too. I forgot that part. So a lot of this is going to be more you feel it or you hear it because you're sealed. And at as this is more for the audience or for you as players' enjoyment. The night has come to deliver the vampires to this destination, and in so doing, the outside of the white van is getting a new magnet put on the side, as apparently that really seems to work. Angel is dressed in some white work clothes, and he is complaining. Why'd I put him in before I got the sign out? And Rose, you're kind of jostled a bit as he's pulling something out. You hear like tearing open of some paper, and on the outside of the van, there's like a metallic slap clank. And then you just hear, damn it! I was in such a fucking rush. I thought I thought it had a transparent background, and the fucking printers didn't tell me otherwise. As apparently the white van is now a Krispy Kreme delivery van with a totally transparent background on the sticker on the outside. This is why we don't rush. Damn it. Whatever. And the Krispy Kreme delivery van takes off. At some point in time, the fading in and out, the weird pangs. If you all have any sort of interesting inner monologue or weird dreams or other things, you're welcome to have them. Your things, we'll get to it, your things would have been zipped up in your body bags, and there would have been some extra goodies that were snuck in there that Angel was told to send with you, too. So, there's driving, there's shifting. Has it been 10 minutes? Has it been 10 hours? How could it be 10 hours? The nights are getting shorter. We're in springtime now, which is probably kind of cranky for you all anyway, because you're getting less sleep. And so time is really weird. And there's a point where breaks, and there's some weird rumbles. And jiggles around. Loud clangs as well. No! From Angel, in this coming and going of consciousness, of lucidity, of being able to sense things. A wrenching, a lurching, a feeling of falling. The three of you land. And Mr. Pitch, you took it so well that in this you land after a fall on your back, and you land with such force that that stake is almost out of your heart. If you just can maybe spend a willpower to twitch.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I will end up spending one such willpower.
Okay. Whoops. And Rose. Oh. Not that one. you're able to get that last. You do that Kill Bill. You just gotta wiggle your toe, and you do. And even though you're in this body bag, the steak that has been jarred out after you landed on your back, and it was mostly out. You clench. You're determined. As there's now sensory, just sensory data pouring into you. You're back into of a consistent state of consciousness and lucidity. You are struggling inside a body bag, but the stake is out. For each of you, and we'll get to reasons why in just a little bit. You are down. Oh, this would be pretty close. You're down 3 hunger. It's desperate, and apparently more than just a stake had just happened.
I ended up.
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna end up saying, feeling my way through body bag. Promised I'd never end up getting in here, but well, guess I didn't leave those college days behind me. I start to poke the zipper ties, and I presume, like most body bags, this is that dual zipper kind.
Yeah, you're you from the inside can unzip it.
Yeah, well, even then, it's just get my fingernails in there to kind of start it up, and then get my fingers in there and start to end up opening up a hole. And when I open it, I just peek through it real quick to end up seeing what kind of a mess did Angel just get us into.
Can you see in the dark at all?
Not a particular specialty of mine. Though, if it's dark, I presume then that the van doors aren't open. And if the van doors aren't open, what I do have is a little cell phone that has been left on my person.
There is. It is dark, though the sounds. This doesn't sound like you're in a van. And what you do hear, perhaps as you're going to reach for the phone, because it's jostled. The things that were in this body bag they got shuffled around. You fell a good distance. Like, it was a thud down that knocked the steak out of you. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh, God.
Emergency containment procedures.
Well,
Emergency.
Let's get out of this body bag. I look around to end up seeing the remains of my current coterie. Specifically, their remains.
Oh, right. So you got a cell phone. So you start desperately looking around for them, and it's aided because I'm going to supply you with more light. As Mr. Pitch, it is pitch black in here. And there's you feel a jostle and as you're starting to move.
Oh.
Tick, 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 tick. And ahead of you, at the end of the conveyor belt, is a giant furnace. And it says medical waste disposal, as there's a very large industrial style conveyor belt that you and some of the remains of the van have landed on. And you are now... There's a roaring fire. You can see both body bags. And you can also see that this fire is roaring. There's a blast of heat as this furnace ignites.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I don't want these body bags getting anywhere closer. I'd grab hold of them and end up pulling them off of the conveyor belt. One thing to end up dealing with the bodies of my own compatriots. It's another to end up imagining that you are here being lit up like Texas barbecue.
And in the face of such a sudden and blazing inferno that you are all but doomed to fall into, I would like you, let's see, what is a rot trick test again? I don't have my book open to
It is unspent willpower along with 1/3 of your humanity rounded down.
Roll it then.
Okay. Then that will be resist frenzy. And I'm presuming no modifier.
Yeah, this is straight up.
2. Respectable given the situation. It's a little bit of a shock, but I'm not handling it, so should be okay.
Okay.
Can't willpower a frenzy check anyway, so.
So 2 is fine in this case because you're able to overcome this and just grab the body bags and yoink them off, pull them off of, and yourself off of this giant conveyor belt going into an incinerator. Now, this is not like a little kiln. This is big. And that warning siren, wow, is still going off.
Well, at that point, I am getting the body bags open. So anything else I see on the conveyor belt that I might be concerned? Like, for instance, Angel's body currently being left on the conveyor belt.
No. There's parts of the van. There's no Angel. And outside of, I mean, while there's a singular bright light, at this moment, you can't see more of this giant room that you're in.
Ugh. All right, well, time to get her done. I end up leaning over the body bag, open the first one. Don't even really know who it is, as I'm mostly just reaching, grabbing hold of this piece of wood lodged within rib cage, and yoink it out. Ugh. That is untimely. I proceed to try and end up bringing life to my compatriots. As they might end up coming to, I'm pocketing that cell phone along, checking with what's on my person, doing up the buttons of my disguise as earlier offered.
All
Try
right.
and get a better sense of our surroundings as I wait for my compatriots to come to.
And let me get to it. Rose and Ivy, it's you. You are freer now to participate in the normal timeline. Think like lucid thought is returning. You can do more than occasionally be conscious-ish. As the stake is removed from your heart, and there's Mr. Pitch. A roaring fire ahead, but you're not getting close to it. Though mercifully, I think you've been spared that. Like, you're coming to in the emergency, like, whoa, is going on, and there is a big incinerator, but you can now act.
What
Oh,
the hell?
I had more questions. That dick.
I think that was saying that he was getting tired of you end up asking him. Still, he extends a hand to both of you to end up assisting you to raise you up as the gentleman that he is. Grabs hold and hoists you up back to your feet.
I pat myself down and check that I have gear on me.
You might want to check that pothole of yours.
Stake is 1 superficial damage, right? So it's 1 rouse check to try to heal it.
If you want to heal it.
If if I
But
remember correctly.
you were down 2 other blood, so you should have hunger
Yeah.
3, just from this because of reasons. So
Yeah.
if
That's
you
all
want
of us,
to,
correct?
yeah,
I'll
that's
leave
all
it
of you.
then.
So, when I start to end up bringing you up, so that being said, he folds up his body bag, almost like he's doing a delicate piece of cloth, then
Do we
places it on the conveyor belt.
have any idea what happened to our ride?
It
Considering
is
he is our extraction as well.
it is currently the dear van is currently being hoisted into that incinerator over yonder.
Oh, I meant Angel. I don't give a shit about the van.
Well, you should. That was supposed to be our mode of extraction.
You can find cars everywhere. But Angel had the information.
Well, at this exact moment, his location seems to be dubious at best and is not going to be able to end up assisting us the forthright. If he's focused on his job, then I would suspect he end up having him find us in the near future. Still, alarms are going off. I believe it is time for us to end up moseying on out. I button up my shirt, covering up the tiny pothole that has been left over my heart.
Ivy
Well then,
out her bag and whatever was put in there with her.
In this moment of not being incinerated, you have a little bit of light from there, and you have a cell phone light from Mr. Pitch. You can see that this is a giant tunnel? Like a warehouse? There are many other body bags that are on the conveyor being dumped in, and there's all kinds of other lab equipment of some kind, some variety of, like, there's giant tubes. Like, I'm not talking test tubes, I'm talking like specimen jars for more than a bug. But you see that things are broken. Like this is like some sort of a place for broken things, medical waste and equipment that might not be needed anymore. It's not filled to the brim. This isn't shut down all trash compactors on the detention level, sort of like it's up to your waist. But this for sure is a place of broken things. And presumably, it comes from like, your light will not show the top of this place from your little cell phone, from where you had dropped. But it was such a drop that it was able to bash, like, through the percussive force in your body, was able to dislodge this stake as you had fallen.
That is unfortunate. Still, I am going to start taking a look. You say this place is more akin to a tunnel. And being a tunnel that ends at a furnace, I would imply that there's only one way to go, at least on foot. Imagine if somebody could transform into a winged animal, they might be able to end up making it back up there. Otherwise, our method of advancement is forward.
Looking around at the body bags that are heading into the chute to be incinerated, do any of them have like a protrusion as though there is an individual inside that is staked?
Nothing overtly apparent. You're welcome to take time to explore them, but it's walking or taking time to explore body bags.
Yeah, I was just wondering if any like jumped out at me as like, oh shoot, that might be someone we need to,
None.
extract.
None are sporting a tent.
Yeah. Well, either they have not been staked or they have long since passed rigor mortis. Either way, we are making our way forward.
unfortunately, I do not believe I have the ability to turn into an animal as of yet. At least if I do, I sure as hell don't know. But I am pretty sneaky, so I will, presuming that the others are maybe not as stealthy as me, I'm not sure. I will kind of motion for them to, like, hang back just a little bit, and I will try to sneak and
Can
go to,
you
like, the
see in the
nearest
dark?
door. No, I do not
The
have.
only light is a fire that will grow more distant behind you as you go to the other end, and Mr. Pitch's cell phone.
Don't worry, dearest. I'll be your guiding light.
Everyone hide behind the cell phone. They won't see us coming.
I mean, I was gonna risk, not being able to see. Like, I could still hear, and like, presumably, if there's anyone moving around down here, they would also need light.
Presumably.
Mm-hmm.
You could also
Unless
trip
they-
on the detritus and smash a bunch of glass or, cartoon noises into medical equipment.
Ivy's gonna be smart. She's gonna pop Silence of Death.
Mhm.
Which
I
means,
will.
he's not gonna make any sound.
That being said, Maddie,
Yeah.
as we're getting ready, I'm kind of curious. At a quick glance, am I able to recognize this equipment, or maybe a suggestion as to what it might be used for? As I'm pretty sure it's not all at random. It must be all disposed of with a very specific purpose. Almost as though it maybe is burnt there, destroying evidence of some sort.
You're kind of a man of science. I guess roll an intelligence science. This will be a difficulty 2, though. Because
Could I
this
assist in
isn't common.
Could I assist in that?
Sure.
I've also got some dots in investigation if I would also be able to assist.
Do you have a dot in science, though? Science is the role being called for, so that's the one that's going to be boosted.
Sorry, I didn't hear science. Nope.
Oh, okay, we get +1 then. And difficulty 2. That is 4 successes.
Ooh. That hunger's serving you well. You hunger for knowledge. Ivy, were you getting in on this?
Ivy doesn't.
Oh, just
Ivy gave it +1.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Some of this is medical. It all appears to be recent. Like, you're not looking at like old 1940s like glass IV bottles or anything. It's maybe various monitors of things, like some things on rolly carts.
But nothing that says like this is all focused on, say, blood work or chemistry or something like that.
Well,
like you wouldn't
you
be
are
able to ascertain much out of it.
You are finding there are things that you're seeing. Let's see, it'd be like animal cages as well. You're finding there is some things that would be like a human medical equipment. You're also finding some sort of lights. Could let's see, you had 4 successes with help. Maybe some sort of like botany lights, growing lights, and just evidence of a lot of different things that could aid in a lot of different fields of study. You're
Botany
finding
lights, UV lights, potentially a way to end
yes.
up burning a kindred, experimentation, animal cages, appropriate. Yeah, I think I got an idea.
You're finding steel cables and chains as well. There is some mechanical stuff in here too.
Very well then. If that is the case, we will end up moving on. And I will lead with the light, as Ivy will be silent. And dearest Rose will end up observing. As good as her ability to end up keeping silent is, we need to end up getting to a position where she can take full advantage of it. And that place is certainly not here.
All right. So, spending your time doing this, the fire behind you perhaps thankfully dwindling, you do reach a door that is... the door is locked, but from your side with a big mechanical, like, think almost like a bank vault style. So I would need an athletics, strength athletics, to try and get this to budge, because you're not getting electricity assistance for this lock, which presumably it has, but you all might be able to make it budge.
Ma'am, I believe this is your forte. He looks to Rose.
I can do my best. I do have more hunger than I do dice. So what happens?
So you're talking strength athletics, right?
Yeah.
So if that is more hunger than dice, all of your dice are going to be in hunger. On the plus side, I do have an athletics check, so Mr. Pitch will, and is in all of his graciousness, try and assist you in that regard.
He's supervising.
Oh, he'll put
your back into it, lads.
He's not above putting getting his hands dirty. Otherwise, he wouldn't be down here.
So you got 2 from us, and then we do have the favors still.
Yeah.
And Rose has 2 favors.
Yep. So if you use those, then you can add extra dice per favor to a roll. All right. So we have 2 successes. All right. Is that it?
Does it seem like it's budging, or do I need to put more into it?
It's... You're given a lot. It's gonna need a little bit more. This is boy, is this like a blast door, or like what is this? This is not a garage door. This is not some simple thing.
I will spend one of my favor. One more. Or wait, no. 1 through 5 is bad. 6 through 10 is good.
Correct.
Okay, then just the 2.
However, that would give you technically 2 dice you could willpower.
Oh, 2.
Yep.
Yep, because remember, you can spend a willpower to reroll any non-hunger die. So that's the advantage of not using hunger die, is you actually have the capability of rerolling it. The hungrier you get, the harder that gets.
Okay, so 1 more success. 3.
You feel the muscles in your in your body here are almost like the steel cables and the chains that you had walked past, and like just underneath your skin, you can like see the muscle almost like twitching and moving and pulsing as you're putting everything into this. Your shoulders are powerful. Now, you didn't blood buff, but within the capabilities of your current mortal frame, everything, like you're probably up on this door, like levered, like your feet are against it, and you're pulling, and clang, and it very slightly slides open, and as it does, red emergency lighting is spilling in just a little bit through the crack.
I presume, then, that would be our distraction.
Yep.
Very good job, Miss Rose. Pleasure to have you aboard.
Thank you for the assistance.
It is what I do. Now, ladies, he pushes the door open a little bit. After you.
Alrighty. So, as the door opens, you can see on a panel across from it maybe it's some sort of a communication panel or something, but right now it's just wow, wow, wow. And the entire hallway is, well, it's monochrome with red light. Everything is red and black right now. And as you step out, this may very well be your distraction. Is that the one I want? Nah, I don't think that's the one I wanted. I ran out of time before going live, so I didn't have this one loaded here towards the end. Give me 1 second. This one is the one I wanted. Perhaps this is the distraction that was... Huh. As you look down the hallway, and there's a left and a right you can go. Beyond this, the pulsing red warning on the panel, the floor is rather slick and smeared. That probably ain't water.
That smells delicious.
It probably does. Ladies, I say ladies, would you happen to look away a moment? Just right off the floor.
Would not be to my acquired taste. That being said, we are offered with 2 different locations, 2 different ways we can end up going off. That being said, Miss Ivy, what does this Clyde of yours look like?
Tall guy, short black haircut. Likes to wear shades a lot.
Well then. I will end up taking the left path. You 2 take the right. Try and end up getting in and out of here as quick as possible.
Just a reminder, we were also asked to acquire any data they might have. So keep an eye out for computers and the like.
This is why she's going with you. I will end up here trying to getting this done quickly. I would hope that you 2 can do so equally as efficiently.
Oh, good luck.
And to you. And with that, as opposed to what you 2 would see is rather than him like trying to stealth and trying to doing the whole Mission Impossible, turning into a solid second. No. He adjusts his jumper suit like as if it's a tie, and starts to walk down the corridor like he owns the place.
Oh, let's go. And she'll start down the opposite way.
Okay. Mr. Pitch, as you've adjusted your tie and you're walking down this red and black hallway, the hollow echoing sounds of an evacuation alert. Every once in a while you pass by another panel flashing emergency, emergency. There was someone here. And you can tell because that person is there and there, and there's a little bit up there in the pipes on the ceiling.
Ghastly work. But, do I... How did you manage to make a mess of this place? Kind of looks over the wounds. This man's armed, he might end up grabbing hold of the man's armament. Oh, what's left of him?
Yeah, there is a, I mean, without details, we'll say that, there is there's remnants of some sort of a rifle. However, the rifle has been as broken as this person. It is rent. Though he does have a sidearm that is in its holster but unclipped. Maybe he tried to draw it before something happened. So if you would like to take the equivalent of a 9mm pistol, you can take this guard's pistol.
I will certainly end up doing that, if only to end up starting to blend in a bit. That being said, the guard's uniform is completely shredded at this point, given the fact that his lower half is over there, his upper half's over there, and everything else that met in the middle is currently dripping overhead.
The body armor seemingly had no... It might as well have been tissue paper.
That is unfortunate. Still...
Though, Mr. Pitch, roll a high or a low. High. Okay, I'm sorry.
High clan high. I think I know where you're going with this, dear storyteller, and I am about this.
Is Roll20 derping out here?
Last roll was... I do not see a roll from you. Do you want me to do it?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're the one who could find something. Sorry.
No, it's low. It's low.
Okay.
Dark dice once again, without fail.
The remnant of this rifle does look like it has... Well, it had a flashlight on it, but it is well beyond use.
That is unfortunate. Alright. Well, if that is the case, then I better mosey on down. I can't keep the ladies waiting. So, I end up continuing here down the corridor. At this point, put away my flashlight as the place is illuminated, though in red and darkish light. Probably for the best.
Rose and Ivy. As you go down this hallway, you're welcome to have commentary on the decor, as you will certainly see that even on your end, I mean, you don't know what Mr. Pitch has found, but on your end, you also would see that there was a great mess made. You would also see that
smells amazing.
Someone was torn asunder. Armor seemingly had it did nothing. Rose, I'll tell you what, you roll a d10 for me. And we'll stick with all right.
Oh, I should have said high or low first.
It's right. I was flowing with high because that's what I was looking for the flashlight. Okay. There was a flashlight on a rifle. The rifle is broken, as is the flashlight. But there was someone down here as well. And, as Mr. Pitch is doing his thing, you two do see here that there is, I guess, a brighter red light coming from ahead. It would be coming from the side, you know, sort of maybe there's a T-junction or it turns. But from here, where I guess there was a guard that got something, a little bit further ahead, it looks like there's another brighter source of red light.
Ivy's gonna move towards it.
Rose?
I will stick close to her, but like if she's on one side of the hallway, I'll be on the far other side of the hallway so that we're not like an easy like 2 for 1.
Sure. Okay. All right. Inside. And you would have passed by the warning the warning keypads and such as well. It looks like there's some kind of a lab.
Jackpot.
Nice.
And inside hell yeah, I should sell commissions. Inside a tube is a dark silhouette of a person here who's laid out and hooked up, has like tubes going into and out of this silhouette inside the tube.
Ivy's going over and seeing who the body is.
I would take a look around and just make sure that like I don't see any people, I don't see any like security devices, anything like that, and if I don't see anything, then I follow.
All right, you get up and it's frosty.
Do I see a release button, switch, valve,
Whoops.
anything of that nature?
There could be somewhere in the science equipment. There's nothing. There's not like a conveniently large handle like right there.
There's no cartoonish like big red button.
Yeah, not push button to receive bacon. Yeah.
Well, we
Ivy's
can't
But-
see.
Yeah.
We can't see who's in there until we get it open. Let's get it open. It's got to be on these computers somewhere.
Ivy's gonna go to the closest one and try to hack into it.
Oh, very good. All right. So, Ivy, let's have this be an intelligence technology, and you do get your specialty for hacking because you're going to have to override. This is a lockout screen. Like, this isn't just like someone pulled the fire alarm and, you know, everyone should leave. This is the freebie, no matter how well you do here. This is everything needs to be locked down and in stasis. Nothing in, nothing out. This is more than just a suggestion.
Rose, do you have any dots in tech?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my one favorite set.
Okay.
Pull up my one.
I am gonna look for. I'm gonna look for a 3 on this. I needed 3 for the door. I need 3 for this brain activity.
Should be easy, considering that now takes this dice pool up to 9.
Okay.
That's a 4.
All right. It's quick and messy. You're not getting extra information, but you're able to to at least get out of this stupid screensaver and to get the machine to work. The tube opens, and you just get this kind of dry ice kind of effect as this mist, this red mist, well, in the light anyway, is pouring out of it.
Does it look like
And-
the
and on the
individual
floor.
that? Does it look like the individual that Ivy had described for us?
Why, yes, it does. He is stark naked. Think, have you seen Cool Hand Luke? At all? All right. Derek or Raven, have you seen Cool Hand Luke at all?
Yes, I have.
You know the scene where he ate 50 boiled eggs?
Yep.
Our boy just ate 50 boiled eggs. All right.
Governor, I wish you weren't so good to me.
He is... Clyde is laid out with his arm... like, not quite... like, he's not crucified, but he's laid out as such. He has a stake in his heart, and he has tubes going into and out of... into one arm, out the other, and his gut does look, like, swollen or distended.
Ivy, can you maybe dig into the notes on there and figure out what the hell they did to him? Because this doesn't look good. And
That's exactly what she's going to be doing.
I do have a point in medicine. Can I maybe try to look him over and see if I can figure out, like, if unhooking anything is gonna, like, mess him up? Or if it might help him.
Sure. Intelligence medicine.
Intelligence medicine.
I would assist this, but I'm busy doing other things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I will also, I will use my last fickle favor. And you said the fickle, is it 1 dice or 2 for the fickle favor?
One.
One, okay. 2 successes.
Well, it's easy to tell. He's got the stake in him. In fact, the stake even has, like, blood that's, like, trickling out of the wound in his chest. So... that's... it's like he's like a full mosquito. The only question is, if you slap him, will he stop sucking?
I look at the bags that are attached to the IVs. Is it like blood or is it something else?
There's no IVs. It's going in, like, from the machine, the vague big machine,
Okay.
into him, and I guess out the other arm in this case. But there is a wooden stake with, like, kind of like a little, like, a little burbling, a little seepage.
Yeah. Until I know what this is, I don't want to touch him and possibly make his condition worse. So I'm going to wait until I find out what Ivy figures out.
Clyde's eyes open and look at you.
Does he seem aware of his surroundings?
Clyde, would you like to kind of Tin Man? I'll give you a couple basic words if you want to, like, Tin Man oil me here to this person who's over you right now.
Depends. How inside his heart is the stake?
This is a freebie willpower, so you can twitch, quote unquote, and do like to mention something in this very dramatic moment.
You just, like a fucking horror movie, you just eyes flick open, bloodshot, and you see fangs grow. Help.
Rose will sort of lightly touch his shoulder, like not wanting to cause any discomfort, but just say, "We're working on it. Ivy's with me. We're gonna figure this out."
And just back to the rigor mortis.
Yeah.
I almost get this feeling of if you've seen the movie Slither, there's a moment where a character just sort of like, I don't feel so good, and then something
How
happens.
dare you reference it? That's what I've been thinking this whole time.
Yes, hive mind. So yeah, Rose, you're getting that kind of I don't feel so good moment right now. Ivy, there's nothing that's like. I mean, Rose is found something. You have not found something, but there's a person there.
Upon not finding anything that could possibly help them, she's just gonna go, fuck it, goes over, yanks out the steak.
Yeah, as soon as Ivy says she didn't find anything and she removes the steak, I start pulling out the lines. And anything else that's connected to him, I just start pulling off.
Oh my god, alright, so Clyde's just gonna like flail. He immediately throws himself over the other side of this container, and you just hear this horrible as he just retches. Just like absolutely retches. You hear like the splashing of liquids and fluids all over the ground.
Yep.
You see it flow out from the other side of this tank. And he just continues doing that and tries to crawl himself back up. I'm gonna fucking kill them. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Calm down, pretty boy.
Doll eyes. Oh. Holy shit. Doll eyes. Oh, he clambers over to you, Ivy. He's like, oh man. And you're just the prettiest sight I've seen all year. Holy shit. Just like his naked body just trembling. He pulls you in for a hug and just like was rolled over you.
She's hugging back like, I didn't even expect you to still be around, buddy.
He just kind of leans on you down and looks around. Holy shit. Where the hell are we? What is this place? Fuck.
Outside of knowing who it may belong to, we can't exactly tell you that.
And Clyde's just gonna look around. He's gonna see if he can find like anything, literally anything that he can recognize, guns, materials, items. He's really like, he's looking for things that are like just quintessential to him at this moment. Any sort of solace.
Tubes, wires, you can create a jagged piece of glass if you smash a monitor.
And he does that. Yeah, you see him just go over to the monitor, rip out a piece of glass, his hand bleeding. He takes some of the wiring, disconnects the tube, and just crafts this like makeshift shiv. And flips it around like a knife.
I will pull out my collapsible baton, extend it, and hold it out for Clyde.
And she's digging the handgun
out
out of her bag. And
this?
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it.
I am better at barehanded combat. I brought it in case you needed it.
Who the hell are you?
I'm
This
Rose.
is Rose. She's here to help get you out of here. There's also one more person with us, and I'm not quite sure where he is at the moment, but...
Rose.
It's funny you mention that, Ivy, because we're going to have a meanwhile across the facility, well, just kind of down the hall, a very long hall the other way. Mr. Pitch, I would like a wits awareness from you, as you are, you know, your senses are up. You're trying to perceive what all is going on here as best as you can.
Well, not my greatest roll, but let's go with it. That is a single success.
All right. You are also reaching at your end of the hallway another kind of T-junction, similar to what the ladies had found that led them to the lab. Now, with your single perception, that is going to be enough to see that it looks like one way has been blocked by debris. There is rubble, not like natural rock like a cave-in, but metal panels pulled down. There is like concrete and blocks that have been collapsed on one side. And as you turn to the other, there's something that doesn't, like, the tunnel is dark. But the thing is, it shouldn't be, because there should still at least be the red emergency lighting, or the light of your cell phone should at least shine. There is an absence of light in this tunnel.
Well,
And
that's
then-
not unnerving at all.
And then there is at least a small bit of a glimmer as several mouths with shiny white fangs open up. But the mouths aren't in a fixed location. They're just kind of floating there.
Oh, now, that ain't you just a beauty.
And directly before you hear several discordant screeches and it lunges for you, what would you like to do?
Well, given the fact that this is... I have no idea if this thing is mortal, immortal, or anything of the such. However, there's one thing I'd like to try.
Okay.
And you say that's discording some mouths and eyes in the dark, right?
Mouths.
Mouths only.
Yes.
Okay. Never mind, that removes that particular bit. In which case, I believe now is the time to run. I hate to do this, but not much you can do at this point, as I am 80% sure that this thing will start to end up going about. I am going to end up doing everything I can to run, with the express purpose of seeing if I can lead this thing to the incinerator. So, for some odd reason, I do not believe that that will be capable. Yep, so your call, Maddie, on what you want me to do.
Well, the one way's a dead end, because it's blocked, and then you can run back down the hallway. So you could try to go into the big warehouse, or you could continue running down the hallway towards the other end, which is where.
Like I said, I want to lead this thing towards the incinerator. So that would be right back the way I came, and then I would believe if I took a left, I would be taking a right to bring it to the incinerator, and not towards where my coterie mates went.
All right. With a actually, I can almost animate this with a token here. What you all would see down the hallway is Mr. Pitch running. In fact, I need you. I want you to make a dexterity athletics.
Oh, you had to call for Dex. Okay. Well,
I do. This is a tense moment, and it's slippery in this hallway.
So let's make the
Nice.
athletics Dex with a modifier of 2. Hopefully, it also is going to
Don't
struggle
forget
with
you have
the
that favor.
maybe, but now is not the time to do it. That is a beautiful natural crit of 5. Or a bestial crit of 5.
Oh, and you're a Ventru.
Oh,
But
yeah.
standing and delivering. You know what?
That is the intent, just not here. I pick my battlegrounds. And something that is dark and wanting to bite and get in close quarters is beautiful to bring towards a conveyor belt that ends in fire and catastrophe.
Mr. Pitch, you have been put in charge of this mission. Kind of. It's reasonable to presume that those were the exact words for you. And I think it's only fair if the others get to see your bravery and your cunning. So, rally them to you, you go to them, so that you can make this valiant lead from in front or behind. But I think that the Ventru blood does have a that you need to be appeased. You need them to see that you are this strong leader. Leading something into a fire isn't a bad idea, but compared to personal glory in front of others, to fulfill the mission that the sheriff himself entrusted you, the very primogen of the Ventru of Cleveland, I think something has to happen in front of others. So, however you get the others, I think it has to happen in front of the others. But...
Okay. All right. Which you're playing down. So, if...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because you ended up saying that, like, the others are coming back down the hall as they see me leading this thing down, and I basically see them at the end of the hall.
Well, I didn't say they're coming down the hall.
Okay.
They're down the hall in a room, presumably.
Oh, this is going to be good.
You don't know where they are as Pitch, but...
All right. All right. And with that, I am going to then I guess I'm changing course. I am bringing them over to end up. Hopefully, maybe they encountered some Second Inquisition or something that we can feed on. Whatever the hell this thing is.
If there's a guard dead at one end of the hall, why not the other too?
Yeah, why not?
Bravely, and you'll suffer no one to say otherwise, you, like, your body just, I don't know, you get supernatural adrenaline, the vitae vibrates. You dash. But you don't slip. Slipping is for lesser people. Grabbing onto the handle, you swing. Think like the Batmobile that has the grappling hook to make the 90-degree turn when it's racing through Gotham. Yep. You grab and gracefully, on the guard's blood, use that to gain momentum, and you have the zoomies. Do. And then do as you'd be rushing in perspective. Do towards us, getting closer. Now you're doing a very good job, such that this creature, I'll illustrate it green so it shows up well. Large, definitely strong, isn't as nimble as you. You are the epitome of grace, of social and physical grace. It surges forward, presumably hitting the barrier over here, and then coming back around, and with black tendrils that are just crawling along the walls and everywhere else. This thing is now behind you, pulling itself as you are... Is this what it's like to have celerity? I mean, we might as well just have, like, bullet time music, as, like, this is... You are outpacing this thing, you're keeping your footing, maybe visions of glory in your head. Now, we come back to the lab. Hi, lab. Whoops.
Hi.
We have, you all were, I mean, Clyde has a shank, there's the gun and the baton are out, and as you were talking and preparing, Clyde, you're moving kind of sluggishly because you're still chilled, but you're no longer, you weren't frozen, but things were kept, very chilly here. In the case of you standing there, there's always a convenient mist going over your cock and balls, sort of hanging out there. Just convenient angles of things. You're holding that shard of glass in a battle pose, but the light is reflecting off it, so we can't see anything. So Ivy and Rose, you are in the presence of this glorious, naked, savage man with beautiful black hair, by the way, holding a shank. And, Mr. Pitch, do they hear anything? Are you shouting ahead, or are you timp, timp, timp as loud as you can, or would you like to be graceful in this moment?
I end up maintaining my hair of grace and civility at all times, even in moments of utter dread at this point. In which case, I did not expect to end up rain headlong into a dark young at the bottom of a mine shaft or in a warehouse or wherever this location doth be. And yet here we are.
I had an idea. Go ahead. You do your thing. I just gotta wait for the cue.
All right. Well, then, as you all are standing in there, Clyde, it's cold, so, some shrinkage happens. No need to worry about it. But the other two are in here, you're checking your things, and Mr. Pitch, make your presence in the door to the lab, which would be kind of down here. They would be looking out and seeing you in the doorway or running in. How are you making your appearance, your grand appearance?
And at that point, you would end up seeing that he ends up coming in here through the door and closes it quickly, wielding it. Wheeling the door shut, trying to put it in the locked position for a moment. Before he stops, turns. I'm so glad that I am going to end making the presumption that is Clyde, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What the hell is this? Blazing Saddles?
Not quite yet, but if you want to end up making such a reference, well, Clive, meet Mongo.
Okay, cool. The moment that this horrible thing starts pounding on the door, Clyde is gonna be like, okay, he's gonna activate Fleetness. I'm gonna make the rouse check. And what I'm gonna do with that is I'm going to cut one of these large electrical wires on the ground so I can jam it down this thing's throat when it gets close enough.
Fantastic. Real quick, anybody good with one of these? He flips around the 9mm that he ended up taking off the guard.
Oh, I am, but...
Trade you?
Yeah, I may have one, I'm just not that good of a shot.
I prefer a more hands-on approach.
All right, great. You're doing the wires. Here. Tell Clyde just hands it over to you, and he's going to take
Fantastic.
the gun.
He grabs hold of this, it sparks, and just just a cattle prod. Just a cattle prod. All right. Well.
Okay.
Right. I need to roll rouse.
Ma'am Rose, if you would be kind enough to end up opening the door on 3.
Let's... Ivy, I would like you, real quick, as this is going on. I want you to make an intelligence technology. This is not hacking related. Okay. 3. So, the metal door behind Mr. Pitch bows. And just slightly, you can see some slick black tendrils that are trying to like seep in and around. And even at the end of one, like there's a small mouth that also then disappears and goes back into the tendril.
Ugh.
And you see the plant, like Clyde cut this wire, and you realize that this place is in like emergency power. There is electricity, but with the bundle of wires that's here, there's a good chance that half of those are for data, and the electricity flowing through this is probably enough to charge a cell phone. It's not arcing with, high voltage electricity. So, if you want to say something before Clyde maybe boldly runs over to jam a USB port into a horror beyond imagination, you're welcome. You don't have to, because we all like good laughs.
She's speaking up about it.
Yeah, well, at this point it would be Pitch that would be holding on to
Pitch.
it. And,
I'm sorry.
it would be Clyde who currently has the 9mm.
Right. I'm
which,
sorry. Yeah,
ain't much better than the USB port at this point. Let's be real.
I've played this game of Catan before. All right, yeah. So you traded 9mm for electrical current. All right. So yeah, Pitch is holding it. Ivy, if you want to speak up, then I'm sorry. We'll boop, there. Reality's fixed.
That's not gonna work.
Not on its own. He looks around for a bit. Now, I was led to believe from earlier descriptions that there was a bunch of very awkward fluids that Clyde may have been suspended in that were not of his own making.
Suspended in him.
So that being said,
the floor of this lab is covered in blood. It is, but not like it was like someone was torn apart in like confetti. Like it like poured around this tube that still has this like dry ice fog coming down from it.
Well, if that is the case, then, and just to recall the rule, we have that one tube that Clyde was suspended in. We have a bunch of computer equipment that was monitoring his position. The room is slick with blood, but we're nothing that's describing like maybe chemistry or anything like that in the research. This was more observational, if I understand the room correctly.
Yeah, this is, there's monitoring equipment. There might be stuff in this machine where Clyde was, but there's, the thing that, is also, it hasn't been mentioned or seen, and Clyde, I'll forgive you if you, for maybe not suggesting it, straight out, but there is a door on the other side of the lab here.
I imagine if there was a door on the other side of the lab, everyone else also saw it.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
but it also hadn't come up, so...
Okay, well, if that is the case, shall we end up making a retreat deeper into the depths before that thing ends up deciding to end up getting through the bulkhead?
Saboom!
Yeah.
Saboom!
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, fantastic.
Let's get the fuck out.
Save these
With
bullets
that,
for another motherfucker.
with that, he proceeds to start walking and taking up a point. As one is arranged, probably ends up having he'll request Rose to follow along his side. She's the close quarter, best with her hands situation, though. And I imagine at this point, well, dearest Ivy might want to end up getting caught up with Clyde. That needs a talker. I don't have the patience for it right now.
All right. During pitch, the offer will be made to you, but to take one step back as Ivy and Rose were freeing Clyde. There is effectively a small little like water fountain of blood coming from this machine he was hooked up to. Are either of you drinking?
Does it smell okay, or does it smell weird at all?
It half and half?
Not touching it.
It doesn't smell it doesn't smell chemically. It's not from a live person, but it doesn't smell chemically.
It's just old bag blood.
Yeah, well, either way, it is not something that is to that particular palate. And as much as I would be remiss to pass up a free meal, I would not end up here suffering the embarrassment of having to end up seeing my newly found coterie having to end up seeing me drive heave on the very first mission.
Can I do a medicine check on it to see how, like, if it's actually just bagged blood and that's it, and they haven't done anything to it?
It wouldn't be a scientific test. You could do like a taste test and try and like, what is this doing for me? Think about it that way. But if you want to go and kind of, you know, do a little taste test, you can.
Yeah, she'll do a small taste test, putting herself out there.
It's not bagged blood. It's not from a living, warm person. But this is certainly unprocessed. So it's still fresh. It tastes better than bagged blood. And I don't think you're of a particular maturity where you have to drink like twice as much bagged blood to get the benefit. So the blood coming in here is going to taste weird, but it's blood. There's no chemicals. It's just not in a person. It's in a machine that presumably was swelling up Clyde like a tick.
And it's not doing anything odd to me.
No. As a freebie even, you're getting a mix of resonances. Like, you know, the snozberries taste like snozberries. You're not hallucinating or anything, but for sure, like, you're... As you like... You're like, oh man, I really feel... Yeah. Yeah, no, that was happy zero. No, that was not the happy blood, but it was close. But yeah, you're so it was like several bloods mixed together. But it we got penicillin from mold. I can technically eat moldy bread. It's not going to kill me. It might actually even bolster my immune system a little bit. You know, I don't like hard cheese, but also I'm really hungry, and so I'm going to chew on hard cheese for a while. It's that kind of a sensory thing where it's food. It's not going to kill you. It's not what you like.
All right. Clyde's just gonna grab Ivy and like drag her down the hall. Like, no, we're done with this.
I mean, Clyde
Get that out of
certainly...
your mouth.
Clyde certainly still, walking, talking, being normal-ish.
Oh, are you kidding? He looks fantastic for having a stake through him.
That
Don't think
facility
it was necessarily
treatment.
bad.
Facility skincare treatment.
All right, so
I'll give it a shot.
Ivy's not drinking, just testing.
No.
All right,
Just
then.
testing.
All right, well, Clyde, fortunately for you, you are full, and in fact, you're not even wounded from the stake. You were so engorged, you healed it, no problem, because you ended up throwing up more than you could even hold in you anyway. So, All right, Rose was denying, and Mr. Pitch said that now we're kind of catching up to this time. Mr. Pitch is here. There's the other door. Pitch, are you going to drink from the drinking fountain before you leave?
No.
What if everyone goes on ahead and they don't look? I must tempt you as the storyteller.
If I'm too much of a button pusher, as soon as Ivy says that like it seems normal, it just doesn't seem, fresh. Rose drinks.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well then. All right. Well then, Mr. Pitch, you go up. You do not. Your dignity is worth more than a free meal. And so as the others go to the door here and make their way, Rose pounces over, and man, Rose, you could start a leaf blower with how you are pulling on this thing. And it's not the best tasting, but it is hitting the spot. You may go up to normal hunger.
Yeah, as long as I don't start feeling weird at any point while drinking, I will take out away 2 hunger and go down to 1.
Yep. And in fact, what is? Do you have a preferred resonance? I don't know.
I
if
think
that's
I
on your
remember.
sheet.
I think I remember reading something in the book that like because I tend to go after people that are like ne'er-do-wells, they're melancholic.
Okay.
But like Rose is kind of like she'll drink whoever. She just prefers to teach a lesson when she can.
I'm going to roll a 1d4, and if it lands on a 4, I will give you, since melancholic blood is sort of your jam, if you get a 4, I'll give you the benefits of melancholic blood. You ready? Here we go. Nope. That wasn't in the tube this time, but your hunger is sated. All right. You probably also look like a mess because you would have gone over there. Like you have blood down the front of you because it's spilled from everything in the retching. So yeah.
Clyde's just going to nod in disagreement and disapproval. He's like, "You are one crazy bitch."
Saved your ass, didn't I?
Boom! The door.
Yeah, well, not yet.
And
Rose starts grabbing people and go.
all right.
Like I have not been trying to do. Mr. Pitch sitting there with the door open, like, are we going?
Yeah. Fortunately, your hacking to open the tube up also did get this door open, and you all go through, and there is a dark room that all 4 of you are now in, save for the light of Mr. Pitch's phone. And what we're going to do is we'll end the session here. You are behind, well, hopefully this is, it's bending steel. This is probably bulletproof glass or something stronger like your tube. And you did have to go through another door, and since you're also not here and there's a blood buffet, maybe it'll forget about you. Still, you're in a place where it's just the 4 of you. It is dark, save for the one source of light. And what we can do is we will leave off here. With the exception, Clyde, of you, now that you had escaped, you'd run through, and as the final door was closed and sealed behind you, and Mr. Pitch kind of has his phone out, there's something familiar about where you're at. And Pitch, as you are, you're the light source. You all can see as Clyde, your memory is coming back of the current place that you're in. A sign that simply says test chambers. And we will end here tonight.
Someone get this man some clothes. He's following
The
all of you,
urge.
trying to shield himself with the gun. He's like, I'm quick enough I can draw this when I need to, but like, I'd rather not draw both pistols, thank you.
The urge to make a joke was so fucking strong.
God.
However, Ivy would not do that to him immediately.
Immediately! She's like, I need to wait until you're more vulnerable to do this.
No, just need to wait till we're not in fucking danger.
Oh my god.
So,
God damn it, they got this Mitzi. That's terrifying.
I don't think that's the BC.
No, that thing wasn't the Mitzi.
Mm-mm.
But there's an implication that the Samitsi has been found. In some context, which is horrific. Also, your current screen for test chambers has a whole bunch of green tentacles at the bottom, and it's just like, it's giving me, weed promo.
So by that,
Fantastic.
I totally mean that this is beautiful, pure white light coming up from the cell phone line. Mr. Pitchers. In a dramatic underlighting of the sign that you all are now inside the test chambers. So, all right. Of course, no
I'm scared.
experience here, not because I hate you, but because let's finish the story first, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. And, I mean, for all I know, if y'all like doing this, we can give it a little bit of time and see what the next adventure is. But, thus concludes part 1 of One Last Day. And I appreciate the 4 of you being here. Specs, I know that you're supposed to have Clyde make his appearance a little bit earlier. I'm sorry, I'm forever behind in this, but I'm very grateful for your patience.
I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm happy I got to have that scene and the happy reunion. I got to have that scene. Many familiar faces, as well as a very unfamiliar one. Very nice to meet you, Bluejoy. Also, very nice to meet Rose.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I shake your hand, but I'm covering up and holding a pistol, so, you know.
I'm
All right.
looking forward to a moment where we don't have to end up being running for our lives for Clyde to end up trying to testing Pitch's patience.
Say,
I
wanted
strongly
to-
suspect you'll have a moment of quiet when we begin the next session on May 14th.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Rose wanted to give Clyde her leather jacket so he had something, but then he's just Donald Ducking it. So.
I mean, it might bring some
more
small
attention
comfort
to
given
it.
his fashion, but I don't know if he'll forget that he's flapping in the breeze. So.
Yeah.
God.
Well, what we're going to do, everyone, as we were busy running through some sort of underground facility for our lives, let's do the same thing except in Minecraft, and I don't mean that as a euphemism. Let's go visit Kobold Sprig, who is currently playing Minecraft. Does have familiarity with various TTRPGs and, mini painting and war games and stuff. So the goblins of the Hero Zone are going to go invade the kobolds of Sprig's Warren. Thank you all very much for being here, and we're going to play Vampire one more time to conclude One Last Day on Tuesday the 14th of May. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, everyone. Thank you all very much, and for my players, I'll be around. I'm not, yeeting you out of here or leaving the office. If you still want to talk and decompress, we can, but I'm going to take us into a raid. So be well, everyone, and I'll see you in Kobold Sprig's channel.